I'm Precious Mzea Sakaleji. Good afternoon and welcome to Camnet TV Midday News. The headlines. Domestic workers to start reporting bad employers on a toll-free line. Non-state actors implore government to stabilize the KWACHA. Join me with the Midday News in detail after this commercial.
Would you like to win some cool cash? Say no more. Stand a chance to win your share of 1 million KWACHA. Simply make a transaction from your Zamtel mobile money account and you could be one of weekly winners of up to 10,000 KWACHA. Be empowered with Zamtel mobile money. Dial *344# to activate your account. This promotion runs from 28th July to 31st October 2021. Zamtel, your digital lifestyle partner.
And now the media news in detail. The residents of Lusaka's Chawama constituency in Jolnawat compound have called on the area ward councillor to facilitate the construction of drainages before the onset of the rainy season. During the 2020-2021 rainy season, Chawama was among the affected areas by flash floods that ravaged most peri-urban areas of Lusaka. They say the area is prone to floods owing to the fact that the drainages are shallow, hence water ends up in their households.
The rainy season is fast approaching and some Lusaka residents are panicking as some compounds are prone to floods. Just like in Monali, Mandevo and Kanyama constituencies among others, Chawama constituency is one such area affected by floods, with Misisi compound being the worst. Houses near the Ngwenya Dam usually submerge in water, hence people are usually compelled to move to higher grounds with support from the Disaster Management and Mitigation Unit, DMMU. Although the move is said to be unsustainable, and certainly this year will be no exception if the country receives normal to above normal rainfall. Within the constituency in Jonawat compound Ward 3, the situation is usually the same when it rains. The residents of this community are asking the local authority and the area councillor Ponsiro Piri to facilitate the construction of drainages using part of the CDF resources.
Mayanganepo pa drainage. Stifuna kuvutika manzi kwamboenda manzi kuzula manyumba mwatu. Boma mtiyanganepo.
Pamene taima pano pamene pankhala chidamu cha manzi tifuna ma drainage akansera
mutiyanganirepo mukube migodi manzi petankhala pano manzi amazula kusongera mu manyumba awo tiyanganire nkoni wa boma.
The residents hope that the United Party for National Development Administration will certainly put things in order, as successive governments have not done enough to address the situation.
Youth empower ifunika na nkuno ngati wakansela watu wachita organize wafana bangakumbe na miforo chikuru mwawalemba mwatanzirako nasi zapezekapo nasi tuwatanzira tuwachita monitor everything apembe kuchira wafana wazimoche wakumwa makachasu wapepe mafwaka is good ngati wakansela watu tankala nao pansi watandizira konse kutakumba kumba mchemushe tiliko na chidampa fupa pa chalize chakuwa tumaze aende.
But kulipe panitina onapo ese kuno kujona watu so tipempa hii boma yani ya bwera hii tipempa na wakansela wamene oro ni wa PF but already apatambira kuti ndrama za choka za Constituency Development Fund tazimbera zindrama batikire konzeru pa drainages because pantaimirira pano pamangala manzi whereby kulipe muntu ali yense wananga achitenani angaende
tulabunda so pati ute manage kuka papa munuma manje dishitwikala shani so abantu kote ba cancel aba batupose kwa mano previous aliko pa first hapa to adiyeshe ba afirwa so abantu lomba manje batupose kwa mano ai.
By broadcast time, efforts to get a comment from area ward councillor proved futile. Patrick Soko, Camnet News in Lusaka.
Some civil society organizations have stressed the need for government to pursue a microeconomic program that will deal with the unstable KWACHA, high inflation and high interest rates as they are crucial for the recovery of the economy. Speaking at a media briefing in Lusaka Wednesday, Consumer Unity and Trust Society Center Director Claudia Pollen says the government needs to invest in human capital, establish a multi-sectoral debt and fiscal framework, as well as undertake innovative and creative measures to broaden partnership with the private sector. Meanwhile, Center for Young Leaders in Africa Executive Director Mulunga Shimbea says the path to economic recovery lies on policy reforms which are key at strengthening the debt management policy framework, which includes debt management strategies and debt sustainability analysis.
Several stakeholders have raised concerns about the Zambia's economic performance over the past years and in recent months. While growth has declined considerably over the past 10 years and GDP growth rate has declined, leading to various negative consequences in the economy, ensuring that the Zambian economy gets back to its right trajectory is a call from civil society organizations who held a meeting Wednesday morning in Lusaka. The civil society organizations have since made several recommendations to the Zambian government, which they say, if adopted, Zambia will be on its way to economic recovery.
So we are of the view that pursuing a macroeconomic program that will deal with the unstable kwacha, high inflation, high interest rates is crucial. Investing in human capital, establishing a multi-sectoral debt and fiscal framework, and indeed undertaking innovative and creative measures to broaden partnerships with the private sectors and to mobilize additional resources will allow the path for economic recovery.
Meanwhile, the agriculture sector is one of the key priority sectors in economic growth and poverty reduction, yet its contribution to GDP has been declining from 9.6% in 2011 to 2.7% in 2020. The Center for Young Leaders in Africa says there is need for the revision of the policies in the agriculture sector in order to make it more sustainable.
We need more investment in agriculture, but we need consistent and clear policies that support the production and value addition of these produces that are produced out of the agriculture sector. Of course, for us to produce, we need investment. We need correct investment.
The CSOs have also called for reforms which are key at strengthening the debt management policy framework.
Legal reforms such as the Loans and Guarantees Authorization Act of 1994 need to be amended. There is need to align parliamentary oversight in debt contraction, increase transparency and accountability, and develop borrowing plans before contracting debt.
So indeed, we would like to see going forward that this debt situation is dealt with, the economic growth is pursued, but also we improve budgetary performance for all these key social sectors. We reinvest this funding to make sure that when we allocate money to health, education, water, sanitation and hygiene, and other social sectors, this money is reinvested and used for that purpose.
The high debt levels have continued to rob the country of the much-needed development. Ensuring that a well-stipulated debt sustainability plan is quickly put in place will offer a solution to some of the challenges the country currently faces. Prudence Chota, reporting for Camnet TV News.
The United Party for National Development UPND Alliance Council of Presidents has challenged Lumezi Independent Member of Parliament Munir Zulu to name the alleged culprits who are aiding Patriotic Front officials to hide proceeds of corruption at their law firms if he is serious about contributing to the fight against corruption in the new government. The Lumezi MP Tuesday made these allegations, stating that he has evidence of some alliance members who are aiding Patriotic Front officials who are involved in corruption to hide the proceeds of corruption at their law firms, an act which amounts to criminality. Speaking on behalf of the Alliance Council of Presidents Wednesday, Alliance spokesperson Mr. Leslie Chikose states that only 3 lawyers belong to the UPND Alliance, have law firms, and has called on Mr. Zulu to name the culprits so that the law can take its course, stating that failure to do so will be treated as defamation.
The new administration with its alliance partners have been announcing their commitment to fighting corruption and ensuring that all perpetrators responsible for the loss of millions that the country has incurred are brought to book. Shocking revelations have come forward alleging that alliance partners of the new administration are actually aiding alleged corrupt individuals from the previous administration to hide proceeds of corruption. Lumezi Independent Member of Parliament Mr. Munia Zulu made these allegations Tuesday.
The UPND alliance members, those partners, I'm challenging them today that they should stop aiding criminals hide vehicles at their offices, at their law firms. There is a certain Mr. Kangwa who is closer to one of the UPND alliance partners who has been calling the permanent secretaries that were fired that we are going to offer you protection if you declare that which you have or that which you've stolen.
These allegations have unsettled the United Party for National Development UPND Alliance, as they feel that their statements imply that the new administration has no intentions of curbing this vice. Addressing the media Wednesday, UPND Alliance spokesperson Mr. Leslie Chikuse has challenged the Lumezi MP to come clean and name the culprits, saying the head of state emphasized that the police would be allowed to conduct their work professionally. He says that failure to do so within 24 hours will be treated as defamation, which is suable.
So such a very, very blanket allegation puts us in a very awkward position as a Council of Presidents, and therefore we feel that it is important that we ask Mr. Munia Zulu, the Independent Member of Parliament, to be specific on who of the alliance president. I know that he has talked about a law firm, meaning that he is trying to bring to perspective the lawyers that are practicing lawyers. And we want to state that in the Council of Presidents we have 3 practicing lawyers. That is President Akafumba, President Mwansa, and President Kelvin Fouet. And all these lawyers are lawyers of integrity, men of integrity. And our viewpoint is that that allegation is meant to disparage the good image of the UPND Alliance.
The Alliance spokesperson asked that the space has been provided for all those with information which can lead to the arrest of corrupt individuals to report such matters. He has questioned why some whistleblowers would choose to go to the media, unlike to the police or other law enforcement agencies. Zipporah Mshala, Camnet News, Lusaka.
In other news, the Ministry of Labour and Social Security has revealed that it will soon introduce a toll-free line for domestic workers to report any forms of mistreatment in the bid to create decent employment opportunities for them. Speaking during the commemoration of the Day for Decent Work with the focus on domestic workers, Minister of Labour and Social Security, Ms. Brenda Tambatamba, says domestic workers are subject to low pay as most employees do not adhere to the minimum wage for domestic workers, physical abuse, no leave days, undefined working hours, and other forms of injustices, making them one of the most vulnerable employed population. Meanwhile, in an exclusive interview with Camnet News, Federation for Free Trade Unions in Zambia President Mr. Chingati Msiska states that sensitization is key to most employers and not aware of the labor laws on domestic workers.
Estimates from the Ministry of Labour and Social Security in Zambia indicate that there are more than 97,000 domestic workers in the country whose jobs can be broken down into gardening, housekeeping, and babysitting. However, records from the same ministry show that these workers are often paid below the minimum wage of 840 kwacha per month. They are also often reportedly physically abused, denied leave days, and are also subject to sexual harassment among other injustices. Zambia is signatory to the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, with goal number 8 hoping to achieve full and productive employment and decent work for all by 2030. The current working conditions for domestic workers in Zambia, however, do not show that the country is on the right track to achieving this goal. It is in this vein that Minister of Labour and Social Security Ms. Brenda Tambatamba says the ministry under the new administration will embark on new reforms to improve the working conditions of domestic workers. She was speaking during the commemoration of the Day for Decent Work with the focus on domestic workers. The minister asked that the new administration will also embark on revising minimum wages for different sectors to address challenges they are facing.
The Ministry of Labour and Social Security has established a call center where any of the ill-treated, underpaid and abused domestic workers should report, or cases of this nature should be reported. My ministry will ensure that such cases are investigated and dealt with in accordance with the provisions of the law. I also urge domestic workers to refrain from taking the law into their own hands. They should instead report any issues of ill treatment, abuse to the necessary authorities.
International Labour Organization ILO country representative Mr. George Okutho has suggested introducing written contracts for domestic workers to ensure that agreements are binding. Meanwhile, Federation for Free Trade Unions in Zambia, FTTUZ President Mr. Chingati Msiska, in an interview, says the reforms will help in making domestic workers less vulnerable.
We have laws, and very good laws, and we have these policies on paper, but we want to believe that this time around they are going to be actualized and everyone else is going to benefit. You know, a domestic worker should not be marginalized, and those are matters that are of concern, because basically without a domestic worker, there is no work output.
The meeting was attended by various representatives from the labor movement. Zipporah Mshala, Camnet News, Lusaka.
That news item brings us to the end of Camnet TV Midday News, but before we go, here are the headlines once again. Domestic workers to start reporting bad employers on a toll-free line. Non-state actors implore government to stabilize the KWACHA. Thank you for joining me. I am Precious Mzea Sakaleji. Good afternoon.